Hey everyone, my name's Chant and welcome back to Planet Coaster. In today's episode, we're going to be making a steampunk hat shop. This is only going to be a one-by-one shop, and there's no premise around it, there's no other bigger creation that it's for, it's just a hat shop that I wanted to build. Literally, I sat down at my computer to play Planet Coaster and I really wanted to make something for a video, and I didn't want it to be for all sewn up. So I was looking for inspiration around my office, and sitting up on a shelf is a hat that I made a couple of years ago, and it's a steampunk hat like this one. I'm going to show you some pictures of it. Literally, I made it just out of foam and paint, but it looks pretty cool, and I made the goggles to go with it. So using this for inspiration, I decided to just make a giant hat and put it on top of a shop, and basically that's what it is. This is not a complicated creation, but it's kind of cool looking in the end. I don't know if I'm going to keep the name Steampunk Hat Shop, that was the intention, but since then the vintage pack has been announced and it is actually coming out on Tuesday. And I think I'm going to release this on Monday, right before Tuesday. So I might call this Vintage Hat Shop, or Vintage Steampunk Hat Shop. I don't know, we'll see. By the end of it, I'll let you know. Either way, the link to this should be in the description below. So, looking at the pictures I took of my hat, the hat I made is plainer than the one I created in the game, but has a lot of the same key aspects, like the lacing on the side. On mine, I only have it on the back. In the game, I have it on two sides and laced differently. I also have a buckle and trim on the one in game, and I don't have that in the real life one. I had no intention of copying my hat. It was merely there for inspiration. I keep the textures matte, so not too shiny until I get to the metal parts, then I make sure to make them real shiny, and this contrast helps both of them stand out. I stuck with a very neutral palette, mostly browns. The hat pin I made on a whim. The hat I made in real life, it doesn't have a hat pin or anything, but I was thinking originally that I could make a hat on top of maybe a jewelry box or something and really mix up this kind of steampunk industrial hat with some feminine jewels and hat pins and things. I thought the contrast would be kind of fun, and it just didn't work out. I'll make a jewelry box in another creation, I guess, because I do want to do that. Like a giant jewelry box, sounds like fun. So I kind of ditched the feminine jewelry box idea and just strictly stayed with steampunk, but I did feel like the hat pin still worked. In the end, the goggles are a separate piece from the entire shop, so you can remove them or move them somewhere else, or do whatever you want. That is up to you. I think I connected all of the lights to the goggles, so you can take them out pretty easily if you wanted to and do your own lighting. I didn't go crazy with the gears. I put a couple on the back and a couple on the inside. But overall, they didn't even make it on the hat. And yet, I still think it screams steampunk. And just so the vendor could get in and out a little easier, I did put a side door in, so he doesn't have to jump over the counter if he doesn't want to. This creation was just meant to be a very simple one-by-one shop, not complicated in the least. As far as the type of park that you'd want to see this creation in, I could see it in possibly a western build, maybe next to a blacksmith or something, between the blacksmith and the hat maker. I could definitely see this in a historical park, such as maybe a Victorian era park. It definitely has that Sherlock Holmes Industrial Revolution type of vibe to it, so maybe a little later or during Victorian. And frankly, I do believe that it could go with the new vintage pack. Not necessarily the carnival aspect of it, but a lot of the vintage items, I think this would complement that perfectly. Now that I'm thinking about it, with the goggles, it kind of looks like an aviator hat or goggles, really. It would go great in an area with some old planes. If you plan on using this in one of your parks, let me know what your theme is and what it's going to fit into. Also, what's your opinion on the hat pin? I like it, personally. I also kind of think it might detract from the hat and goggles. I don't know, what do you think? Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it was a really quick one, very fast build, but I had a lot of fun making it. I think it turned out really nice. I really like the hat and the goggles, and I do believe that those textures play nicely off each other, the matte wood browns and the shiny metallic metals. I think that together they make each other pop. If you like this video, don't forget to comment below and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in the next one. Bye now.